What's up everyone, Emerald here from Emerald's Daily Carry, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Lululemon Everywhere Belt Bag. Now brace yourself because you might be wondering, how could I possibly talk about a bag this small for more than 20 minutes? But I'm here to tell you there's actually a lot of great stuff going on in this tiny package. In this video, we're going to be telling you everything that you need to know about this sling. We'll walk through the specs, the materials, and the features. We'll pack it out, yes, with some beans, and then use this sling to explore a much bigger topic, the difference between buying a name brand product and picking up a cheaper knockoff version on Amazon. Is it really worth the extra money? Stick around because we're going to be breaking down and comparing this bag to a $15 budget option to help you answer that question. We've been using the Everywhere bag on and off as our everyday sling for the past few months now, and we're super excited to finally give it some proper love on the channel. This bag was purchased with my own money, and everything that you hear today is my honest opinion. The Everywhere sling retails for $38 and comes in over 15 different color options. We're reviewing the 1 liter version, but it also comes in a larger 2 liter option and a smaller 0.7 liter version, depending on your needs. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel, we like to talk about backpacks, sling bags, and everything in between because we believe that everything in life is between you and the perfect bag. Our goal is to give you all the details that you need so that this is the last review that you need to watch before figuring out if this sling is right for you. There are chapter markers all throughout the video so that you can skip ahead or jump straight to the section that you care about most. But before we dive in, you know the drill. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you smash that notification bell so that you don't miss any more Emerald's Daily Carry goodness. And without further ado, you better buckle up because this one's gonna be a long one. Before we get into the details of the bag itself, let's take a quick moment to talk about the brand behind it. Lululemon is a Canadian athleisure and yoga-inspired lifestyle brand with over 760 stores worldwide. While they're best known for their soft goods and athletic wear, in recent years they've expanded their brand style into the world of bags. The company was founded in 1998 by Chip Wilson. However, it's important to note that Wilson hasn't been involved in the company for over a decade. After making a series of controversial statements, he stepped down from the board in 2015, and Lululemon has publicly distanced itself from him ever since. He is no longer affiliated with the company in any official capacity. Now, there's probably a whole book that you could write about the brand's history and evolution, but we're here to talk about bags, so let's get into it. Now let's dive into the listed specs of the bag and compare them to our own measurements here in the studio. We'll run our infamous bean test to measure the actual volume of the bag. If you're not familiar with our bean test, check out this video right here for a full breakdown of how it works. There is no listed weight on the website, but the listed dimensions is 7.5 inches wide, 2 inches deep, and 5 inches tall. That's 19 by 5 by 13 centimeters. For the strap length fully extended, you're looking at 41.7 inches or 106 centimeters. And we have a listed volume of 1 liter. Now for our actual specs, for the weight, we're gonna weigh it with our scale. And it looks like we're looking at 0.3 pounds or 178 grams. For our actual dimensions, about 9 inches wide, 6 inches tall, and yep, just about 2 inches deep. So the measurements are pretty accurate. We got a little bit wider and longer in those areas, probably just because this bag isn't packed out. But as you can see, it's a pretty malleable material. So let's now test out the volume. So this is what the bag looks like with that 1 liter in volume. It holds it pretty well, and I think actually we can fit a little bit more inside. So we were able to fit 8 ounces of additional beans into this bag. As you can see, it's pretty brimming at the top. Just because the way that this bag is structured, you're gonna have a lot more volume at the bottom versus the top. You have this like tapered design and the fact that this material is so malleable, which is probably why we're able to stretch it out a little bit. If you have this at full capacity like this, stuff is gonna start falling out, as you can see right here. If I'm gonna demonstrate, ready? Not necessarily the most practical use of volume, but as you can see here at the top, we have probably at least half an inch of space here that we could fill more beans with, but again, it's not gonna be usable volume since the way that you open this bag is like this, top down, and you can see all of our beans are spilling out, but definitely an impressive volume. I'm gonna clean this up now and then a word from our sponsor. And for reference, here's what the bag looks like on me. I'm 5'7", 135 pounds, and have a 17.5 inch torso length. And here's what the bag looks like on a larger man. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds, and has a 22 inch torso length. And today's sponsor is just us. I'm just here to tell you that you should go check out our travel goods show coverage. It's been super awesome to be able to share all of that insight with you guys. Lots more coming, so be sure to check that out. All right, now we're gonna get into the materials. Lululemon lists this body material of this bag on their website, but we also did a little bit of our own detective work to fill in the rest. One of the first things that we noticed and appreciated is that the major fabrics used on this bag are made of 100% recycled materials. The body fabric is made of a recycled nylon. It has a subtle texture to it, but still feels pretty smooth to the touch. This material offers some natural water resistance, and in most cases, it's very easy to spot clean. A little light dish soap and water will usually do the trick. I've accidentally gotten mineral sunscreen on it more than once, and it's cleaned up just fine. That said, the fabric does have a little bit of a tendency to attract small particles and lint, which can be a little bit harder to remove. The interior liner is made from a recycled polyester, feels really similar to the exterior nylon, and should be just as easy to clean in the event of a spill. The mesh itself has a little bit of give, but most of the stretch comes from the elastic bands that line the top of each of the compartments, making them much more flexible. For the main zipper, we're looking at a YKK Visalin 5VS zipper with a Lululemon branded puller. On the black on black variant that we have here, the finish is a sleek matte black. You might notice that some of the coating has started to wear down near the puller, but nothing too extreme or concerning. The chunky zipper is actually one of the standout features of this bag. It's super easy to use one-handed, even around the curved corners of the bag, and it gives the bag a very distinctive look. On the front of the bag, branding is kept pretty minimal. You'll find a small rubber Lululemon tag on the left and a metal logo mark on the right. It's worth noting that the branding elements vary depending on the colorway. Some come with a nylon tag and a chrome metal logo mark instead. Moving to the back of the bag, there is a lay flat compartment that uses a YKK No. 5 reverse coil zipper. The zipper head is made of a black metal with a nylon base and a plastic puller that's textured and branded. Now let's talk about the harness system. The strap is made out of a 1.5-inch seatbelt style webbed nylon. It's super thick, chunky, and durable. Definitely overkill for a bag this size, but in a good way. It's paired with the UTX Flex Stealth Warrior buckle made out of plastic and 2 elastic strap keepers to help manage all the excess. Altogether, the harness system feels like it belongs on a much larger bag, but it's one of the defining visual features that gives this sling a very unique look. We'll dive deeper into that in the next section. Now let's get into the features of the bag, starting with something that might seem pretty simple, but I actually think it's a really standout feature. It's the shape of the bag and how it opens. And yes, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant because I think this part is genuinely awesome. So first off, this bag is a triangle. If you look at it closely, you'll notice that it has a wider base and then it tapers up towards the top. And listen, triangles are objectively the strongest shape. I'm not just saying that, you can go look it up. But aside from that, the shape serves a really practical purpose. It gives this bag a super clean silhouette while still maximizing usable space. Now, the way this bag opens, it's kind of like a taco, and taco openings are probably one of my favorite ways for a sling to open, and let me show you what I mean. The zipper tracks extend more than halfway down each side of the bag, which gives you really great wide access to the main compartment. That means that you can see basically everything that you've packed inside. Usually when zippers go down this far, you run the risk of your stuff falling out, especially if the bag flops open too wide. But here, the sidewalls have just enough flex to actually act as built-in gussets. They stop the front flap from going too far and keep everything safely inside. Combining this with the extra depth at the bottom, you've got yourself one of the best main compartment access designs that I've seen in the sling. And Toothy agrees. Inside, the layout is super simple, but totally works. You have a large mesh pocket that runs the entire length of the back wall, and then 2 equally sized mesh pockets along the front. Your phone or any bulkier item will sit in the rear pocket, close to your chest, giving the bag some extra structure and acting a little bit like a retention wall. Then you can throw your smaller stuff like your keys, your AirPods into the front mesh pockets for quick access. On the back of the bag, we get a feature that honestly should be standard on all sling bags, but weirdly it's not: a lay flat back compartment. It's perfect for stashing your wallet, passport, or anything that you want securely tucked away while you're in transit. There's also a really thoughtful detail here with the zippers. We have 2 different zipper heads, one in the main compartment and one in the back pocket, so it's really easy to tell them apart. But even better than that, the zippers run in opposite directions. That means that even with your eyes closed, just by feel and orientation, you're gonna know which compartment you're opening. It's a really small design decision that makes such a big difference, especially on a bag this small, where you're gonna be accessing it really frequently. All right, now let's talk about this strap. This strap comes in a massive 1.5-inch wide, and yeah, it's pretty overkill for a 1-liter bag, but I'm not mad about it. I love it. As somebody who doesn't have a ton of natural padding on my shoulders, I'm gonna take anything that I can get, and I really do benefit from this extra surface area. A wider strap spreads out that weight more evenly, which generally means a more comfortable carry. And visually, I think that the strap is kind of iconic. It's super chunky and bold and very in line with Lululemon's casual lifestyle focused vibe. The strap is long enough to fit a wide range of torso lengths and hip widths, whether you want to wear it crossbody or around your waist like a hip pack. That said, if you are a thicker boned person or just have a larger frame, you may find yourself near the upper limits of the strap range. Right now, Lululemon doesn't offer replacement straps or the ability to adjust the length with add-ons. It's basically a one size fits most kind of situation. However, they do sell a version of the Everywhere Belt Bag that comes with a longer strap with an additional 14 inches for the exact same price. So if you think that you will need more room, that version might just be worth checking out. Now we've made it to our pack out section. We have a few loadouts to see what can realistically fit inside the sling, and I think you'll be surprised at how much this bag can hold. Okay, so just going around the table here, I'm not saying you can fit all of this stuff in it, you definitely can't, but as far as what we're gonna try to pack in and see what can fit where, I have phone, wallet, keys, obviously. I have a microfiber cloth, a flashlight, a pen, mints. I have some sunglasses with a protective case. I have 3 different battery banks in different sizes, so we'll see how that fits in here. My AirPods, some medicine if you want to take something like that, a packable compressible tote, lip balm, a cord, and then I have a little like game thing if you want to also take this with you, while you're out and about and you want to do some gaming. There's that. So let's just see what can fit. We'll start off with the 3 essentials. Your phone, wallet, keys is always going to be with you. So I'll put my wallet in the back. In the back slip pocket, I'll put my phone and then my keys. Now these grew quite a bit since the last video that I have, so we'll see if this will fit it. It does. And my AirPods, I would say, is an essential item as well that will go in the other slip pocket. Now the rest of the volume, let's just see what we can find and fit. I think with this style of bag, you're gonna have a little bit of a better time with a long and skinny type of battery bank, not necessarily this chunky little small one, but let's see what'll fit. So this, okay. Now the fact that we have this much, depth in the bottom area is kind of impressive because we can fit a battery bank that is that fat. Let's see if we can zip it. And we can. Beautiful, how lovely. I think though that, it's gonna take up a lot of precious space, but just knowing that you can fit something like this is pretty awesome. This Nikkor Carbo battery is gonna be probably the best fit just because it's so slim. But I have my mints here that I put in there. My sunglasses. Maybe I have to do some finagling here. So let's see if it'll fit. It sure will. And in this situation, you're gonna have to take your sunglasses out and wear them. But the nice thing about this is, once you have your sunglasses on your head, you don't actually have to carry that. And then this is a pretty small pocketable little case that you can just throw in here, no problem. But if you do wanna just have your sunglasses with you, then these will probably have to go up here at the top of your taco. This gaming device, I think you can fit it, but you're gonna have to, again, do some finagling with it. It's got a little bit of a bulkier bottom to it. USB-C, which is really nice. It has emulations already built in. Once we take out some of our stuff, we can definitely fit it. No problem. If you have a pen, that'll definitely fit. This is, one of those little light thingies that I don't want to blind myself, but how do I turn this on? But there you go. It's pretty bright and it's really small. It's magnetic, I believe, and then this rotates. So it also has a clip, so we can clip it, or you can just toss it in there. Our little baby tote bag will definitely fit. All this little stuff, all the things that you would probably put inside of your pockets, they're definitely 1000% going to fit within this bag with room to spare. And that's kind of the beauty of this design that I love is look at how much crap is in here and look at how easy it is to see everything. It's pretty awesome. So all's to say that, you know, basically anything that you have on this desk is gonna fit inside the bag. It's just gonna be a matter of which 4 or 5 things from these 10 things do you wanna bring with you. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time to rate this sling based on our analytical rubric. If you're new here or just need a refresher, we've got a full breakdown of how our scoring system works in a separate video where we walk through our mythology and explain each of the categories we use to rate bags that we review. Be sure to check that out if you want some full context. Now, when it comes to the Lululemon Everywhere Belt Bag, it exists in a space that's become extremely crowded. Just doing a quick search for a belt bag and you're gonna see what I mean. Dozens of options pop up that look basically exactly like this bag. So instead of vaguely referring to the competition, we're gonna do a direct comparison between this bag and one of those knockoff brands here at the end of the video. We'll see side by side if paying more for a brand name like Lululemon really does get you anything significant in terms of value and performance. As for our review criteria, we're going to be sticking to the same rubric that we've been using for other slings on this channel to keep things consistent and fair. The breakdown is as follows. 40% of the score will be based on design, 35% on components, 10% on marketing, and 15% on the bag's unique value proposition. This gives us a really well-rounded view of not only just how the bag looks and feels, how well it performs, how it's positioned, and whether it brings anything special to the table to set it apart. Starting off with designs, under aesthetic, we scored the Lululemon Everywhere Belt Bag a 5 out of 5. It has a very instantly recognizable silhouette and walks that perfect line between casual and chic. With the versatility of being worn as a crossbody or a hip pack, and with over 15 different color variations to choose from, there's a version of this bag to match nearly any outfit. Or if you're like me, you can go with the black on black version, which works with just about everything. For function, this bag also earns a 5 out of 5. You get really quick and easy access to all your essentials with just one zipper. It's incredibly comfortable to wear in any orientation thanks to the thick, oversized strap, yet it still manages to maintain a really clean, low profile silhouette. That's everything you could ask for in a reliever style sling bag. Moving on to build quality, again, we're looking at 5 out of 5. Lululemon really does deliver here. The Everywhere Belt Bag uses top tier materials throughout. The zippers are smooth, the body fabric is easy to clean, and I haven't seen any loose threads or signs of fraying. It's everything that you'd want out of a bag at this price point. Now let's talk about protection. Here, it's scored at a 3 out of 5. This bag is soft and malleable, which makes it super lightweight and easy to wear, but it also means that it doesn't offer that much in terms of structure or protection against drops and heavy downpours. For most day-to-day situations, it's going to be more than enough for you. The body fabric is water resistant, but not waterproof, and you may experience some seepage to the seams if you do get caught in serious rain. Under comfort, we gave it a 4.5 out of 5. The thick strap really makes you feel secure, like you're buckled into this bag in a good way. It feels stable and comfortable whether you wear it on your chest, back, or waist. I also found the shape of the bag to be really pleasant to wear across all different types of positions. Because it isn't very deep, you're not going to be able to fit very bulky items in here, but that slim design contributes to how easy and unobtrusive it is to carry. And finally, when it comes to access points, you already know that I'm a really big fan of the style of opening. That taco style flap design earns a full 5 out of 5. It gives you full unobstructed access to the main compartment with minimal effort and makes grabbing what you need feel intuitive and seamless. So overall, some seriously strong scores across the board. Our next section is the components. Starting off with the zippers, we gave this bag a solid 5 out of 5. It's awesome to see YKK zippers being used here. Lululemon could have easily cut corners with unbranded hardware, but they didn't. The chunky main zipper is a dream to use, super smooth, easy to operate one-handed, and performs just as well whether the bag is packed out or empty. Even around the corners where most zippers tend to catch or snag, this one glides with no issue. Same goes for the back zipper. The reverse coil design is a great touch since this panel sits directly against your body. And once again, chef's kiss. These two zippers run in opposite directions and have different zipper heads. It's such a small design detail, but makes such a big difference in day-to-day use. Moving on to the harness system, this is another 5 out of 5. This 1.5 strap is comically oversized for this bag, but in all of the best ways. It adds stability, comfort, and it's become a defining visual trait of this sling bag. The clip is satisfying, the strap material is high quality, seatbelt style nylon, and I've used this bag hard. In Japan, Hawaii, Korea, daily carrying it as an EDC, and there's not been a single snag or fray anywhere on the strap or on the body. That's pretty impressive. Now for the back panel, we gave it a 4.5 out of 5. That lay flat zipper pocket is one of my favorite features on any sling. Great for keeping your passport or your wallet safe and close to your body while you're in transit. Seriously, Every sling bag should have this. Sling makers take note. The only thing that's keeping this from a perfect score is the lack of padding, which I get it, would be pretty overkill, but hey, you know, a girl can dream. Opening up the main compartment, we scored it a 4.5 out of 5. It's almost perfect. I'd love to see some slightly tighter elastic on the mesh pockets and maybe a little bit more shaping and patterning on the base of them, but honestly, that's nitpicking. The mesh still has great stretch and it can accommodate larger items with ease, which is a really huge plus. Lastly, for quick access, we gave the bag a 4 out of 5. Technically, it doesn't really have a dedicated quick access pocket, but with a bag this small, the main compartment is your quick access. And with how frictionless this main zipper is, it really works. Would it be nice to have a small front zippered pocket for stashed keys? Sure, but I'd argue that that clean, boxy look of the front is worth preserving. That aesthetic trade-off is totally justified in my book. Our next section is marketing, where we gave Lululemon as a company a 3.5 out of 5. While they've had their share of controversies, which we won't get into here, they've recently leaned into a more mindful direction with their impact agenda. If you're curious about how they approach topics like social responsibility, sustainability, and community well-being, I'll drop a link in the description so that you can dig a little bit deeper. Next up is the product page, which earns a 3 out of 5. It does a decent job covering the essentials. You have specs, photos, and customer reviews, but it stops a little bit short of being truly helpful. We'd love to see more lifestyle shots or even a video to show how it performs out in the real world. Pack-out examples would also go a long way in helping people visualize capacity. That said, with Lululemon's strong retail footprint, many folks will have the option to try out this bag in person before committing. Now, if you do buy it and end up having second thoughts, what is the return situation? Here we also scored Lululemon a 3 out of 5. You've got a standard 30-day window, but that bag needs to be unused and still have the tags attached. One of the upsides though is that you can return it in person at any of their stores, which makes the process a little bit smoother if you are near one. When it comes to warranty coverage, it's a little bit more of a mixed bag. Rather than offering a traditional warranty, Lululemon handles things under a quality promise, meaning that they will evaluate claims case by case. It doesn't cover normal wear and tear, and you will need proof of purchase. It's not bad, but also not the most consumer-friendly approach. As always, I recommend checking the site for their most up-to-date policies. Lastly, for volume, we gave the Everywhere Belt Bag a 5 out of 5. It's actually a little bit bigger than 1 liter, so there you go. Wrapping up our final category, unique value proposition, we're looking at what sets the Everywhere Belt Bag apart from the crowded sling bag market. Starting with features, we gave it a solid 4 out of 5. While it doesn't reinvent the wheel, what's here is thoughtfully executed. You've got a streamlined main compartment, a discreet back panel, and a comfy harness system. Everything works together in a way that feels very effortless and well integrated. When it comes to uniqueness, this is really where the bag shines. We scored it a 5 out of 5. It has a very distinct boxy silhouette and oversized strap that makes it instantly recognizable as a Lululemon piece. You could spot one from across the street, and the brand identity counts for something in a sea of lookalikes. On value, it's kind of hard to beat at under $40. This bag offers impressive quality, thoughtful design, and daily versatility without breaking the bank. That's such a rare combo, and so for that, we gave it a 5 out of 5 for bang for buck. And finally, for flavor, the Everywhere Belt Bag walks the line between sporty and stylish in a classic Lululemon fashion. Lightweight yet functional, simple yet elevated, it fits seamlessly into casual wardrobes and gives you that elevated athleisure look. For that, it earns another 5 out of 5. So after tallying up everything and normalizing our score, the Lululemon Everywhere Belt Bag earns a 90%, which gives it a very respectable A-. Wait a second, Emerald, is this the first A bag that you've ever given on this channel? Heck yeah, it is. Massive congrats to the Everywhere Belt Bag. You've officially earned yourself the Emerald stamp of approval. And here's a quick recap of why we love this bag and why it's now in our Hall of Fame. First off, the price. It's extremely accessible, especially compared to some of the $300 bags that we often review on this channel. For less than the cost of a dinner out, you're gonna get a really smartly designed bag that punches way above its weight class. You've got a surprisingly spacious main compartment with great visibility, thoughtful internal organization, excellent build quality throughout, little details that make a difference, like zippers that open in opposite directions, and all of this wrapped in a compact form that fits inside of a personal item and comes in a range of colors to match any style. To earn an Emerald's approved badge, a bag has to deliver across the board: build quality, feature set, value, ease of use, and I can confidently say that the Everywhere Belt Bag does just that. So who is this bag for? If you need a pocket reliever, a gym companion, a hands-free option for your coffee run, or a casual stroll, Oh wait, did I just describe every human with a phone, wallet, and keys? Yes, I did, because this bag is basically the jeans of slings. It's universal, dependable, and all about finding the version that fits your life. And with over 15 color variations, odds are that there is one that exists. Okay, so now that I've properly gushed about the Everywhere Belt Bag, let's switch gears and put it up against a $12 knockoff that I found on Amazon. Consider this our micro test. What do you actually get when you buy a brand name bag versus the generic version? This dupe was worn daily by a friend of mine for 5 months, and here's how it held up. So right away, you can just tell that the difference is pretty obvious. The exterior fabric material is significantly thinner on the knockoff version. There is very visual differences in discoloration across the front. Also, there's like loose threads everywhere. So there's one there on the back. We open this up. Loose threads are popping up everywhere, not just from wear and tear, but also from poor quality control, like untrimmed stitching straight out of production. This strap is super discolored, it's fraying, it feels rough. The zippers are non-branded. The main compartment zipper in particular is kind of a mess. It's a cheap metal zipper with small teeth and a thick interior liner. So it just constantly gets caught every time. You can't like go around a corner, even when the bag is empty. And on the durability side, it's kind of not great. The zipper is already oxidizing with this weird metallic smell that you can't pick up through the camera, but trust me, it is very strong. I'm gonna have to wash my hands after this. Now here's the thing. This cheap bag copies the exact same form factor, layout, and even the features of the Lululemon bag. But it completely falls apart when it comes to build quality, and that, my friends, is the real key difference when comparing branded versus knockoff products. The knockoff might save you money up front, but it's more likely to wear out faster, break down sooner, and leave you replacing it anyway. On the other hand, spending just $25 more gets you a much better product that's built to last and backed by that brand's quality standards. You're not gonna find that on a knockoff brand. This is honestly a really great example of the boots theory, or a socioeconomic unfairness, which basically says that cheap goods cost people more in the long run. If you're constantly replacing low quality stuff, you end up actually spending more money over time than if you just bought a high quality thing in the first place. It's simple, but not always practical, because not everyone can drop extra cash up front. So what is my advice in this use case? Well, if you think that you're gonna be using this sling on a daily or a regular basis for even more than a couple of months, you should just spend the money and get the Lululemon version. The extra investment makes sense because you're gonna feel that difference every time you interact with the bag. But if you only need this sling for like a one-off trip or an occasional outing, save your money. That's $26 that might be better spent at a great lunch instead. So after putting the Lululemon Everywhere Belt Bag through our full review process, breaking down the components, scoring the marketing, testing the value, and comparing it to this $12 Amazon dupe, it's easy to see why this bag earns an A- and a secured Emerald stamp of approval. We looked at everything from the zipper quality to real-world usability and long-term durability, and even put the knockoff to the test to see how it stacks up. And with all that being said, that's a wrap on this sling and this debate, unless you want to fight me in the comments. If this review helped you out and you're thinking about picking up the Everywhere Belt Bag, there is a link in the video description that will take you straight to the product page. You can also support the channel and help us keep making deep dive reviews like this one, videos that take weeks of research, testing, and editing time, by using the Amazon affiliate links down below. If you make a purchase, we do get a small commission at no extra cost to you. Now, if you're not into affiliate links, that's totally cool. Just liking the video, subscribing, and sharing this with a friend goes a really long way. It helps us to feed the YouTube algorithm and keep those people happy so that this video can reach more awesome folks like you. Drop a comment, are you team brand name or team save the cash? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't go too far, because we're heading back to the travel goods show soon to show you some of the best new luggage options for the summer travel season. My name is Emerald from Emerald's Daily Carry. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next time. Peace.